Hey everyone, welcome to WDWNT's 50-hour marathon benefiting Toys for Tots. Thank you all for being here. I am Patrick Hackett, and this is going to be my show around the hub. For those of you who do not know the show, you're new to the network, this is kind of what Park Center was. We cover all the news of the company. We're going to focus a lot on the holidays here. And the only difference is that there are points involved, and somebody wins and somebody loses. Now, you can affect the game. You can donate money and give points to your favorite panelists. The panelists are here. I will introduce them momentarily. So I used to do this every year. I think I missed a couple years on the marathon, but here we are. And hi, I just wanted to say one thing real quick because you have a special guest. Come on, Beans. Come on. So I was just talking to Ashley, and I was like, wow, when we started this, I think we were in our late 20s. You might even been younger. And now we got Tots of our own. Oh, you got a big aw. Hey, here's everybody who's looking at you. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Hey, see, there we are. Now, imagine this tot with no toys. Cece, would you be sad if you had no toys? Yeah. Now we need to give toys to Tots. Thankfully, Cece is, successfully with a lot of toys. She can't touch these. But this is what we're doing it for. First, don't stop eyeballing them. You're looking at those. Those are Daddy's toys. Go with Mommy. I'll see you later at Auntie Christina's. Bye, Beanie. Love you. All right. So we're done pandering. Please donate toys.wdwnt.com, auction.wdwnt.com to look at some great auction items. And then the last thing is me trying to find the theme song to my show because I did not give it to Jake in advance. So let's see if I remember how to introduce my show. Maybe my library. Yeah, this is the good content you're here for. Although you guys kept donating yesterday while we were not even on the air, so maybe I think less is more.
I mean, would it be a marathon show if things weren't going awry constantly?
Oh, it went horrifically awry. It was forever, but we did eventually get that. So if you want to donate, toys.wdwnt.com. And you can donate points, $1 per point to your favorite panelists. All right, here we go.
The following is a WDWN Tunes original program.
Three panelists from around the WDWNT network come to you in the only game of competitive Disney banter. Points are awarded for well-thought ideas, and points are deducted at the whim of the host. The panelist with the most points at the end of the game gets a 30-second meet and greet, 30 or 60. Get a certain amount of time meet and greet to talk about whatever Disney topic they would like. Our panel for today's show. Arlo, I didn't ask how to pronounce his last name, our newest DLNT reporter. Yay. In the panel down below, it is Ashley Jesser.
Hey.
And rising like a phoenix, it is Courtney Brooke.
Hey. Hey.
All right. You got point sound in here somewhere, I think. Do-do-do. This is why this show always works way better as a recorded show. Welcome to the somewhat annual episode of Around the Hub. Around the Hub was your source for competitive Disney banter and witty repartee. Now we dust it off every couple times a year. The game is played by three knowledgeable contestants who go through 3 rounds of topics, earning points for well-thought-out ideas and losing them at the whim of the host. The panelist with the most points at the end of the game wins their very own meet and greet where they get 30 uninterrupted seconds to talk about whatever Disney topic they would like. You've met the panel. You know the rules. Now let's play Around the Hub. All right. Our first round on Around the Hub is split into 2 segments, the rope drop and keys to the kingdom. In Rope Drop, we focus on the two biggest stories of the week, and in Keys to the Kingdom, we take a quick tour around the entire Disney company with some fast, hard-hitting news. This week, the Rope Drop will focus on the biggest story to hit Disney in a very long time. Courtney, what was the final straw of Chapek's reign?
Well, I think there might have been a few. Internally, it sounds like maybe cooking the books a little bit might have been the last straw. The whole Disney Channel, Disney Plus debacle. I don't know. There's so many things flying around. I'd say, as a fan, the churro cart comment. You just can't. You can treat us like we don't exist, but don't bring contempt into it, because it's just not gonna end up well for you. There's just no reason to make the fans that angry and to, I don't know, treat them like everybody else that's not in the Disney fandom treats us.
Usually we ask you to raise your hand if you have a follow-up. Just go ahead and jump in. If not, I'm going to go on to the next question. Arlo, was a reboot of Iger the best decision for new CEO?
Well, Patrick, I think it's not really a question of if it was the best decision. I think it was pretty much the only decision, because Chapek did get rid of any competition for his own job over the past couple of months. We talked about that a ton on various shows, and we can talk about John Mayer and Tom Staggs and if they're going to return to the company or not, as the board wanted them to. As they talked about, they reached out over the past couple of months. And the issue was that Chapek would have, of course, had to have signed off on acquiring their company, which basically would have been signing off on getting rid of his job. So, which we just know probably wasn't going to happen. So I think Iger is a very competent businessman. I think he's made it clear that he absolutely knows what he's doing when it comes to Disney in the past. He's certainly made decisions that are not always popular, but have always been pretty good at keeping the company afloat, which was certainly not something that we could feel in the past couple of years. No. But I think that if nothing else, for 2 years, it's certainly a great way to get the company back on its feet. And then in 2 years, we'll have the conversation again.
Speaking of those 2 years, Courtney, who's next?
Oh, man. I haven't been reading Wall Street Journal enough to answer this question. I have no idea. I know it needs to be somebody with a little bit more charisma.
Amen.
And somebody just with a little bit more compassion. I guess, none of us knew Walt Disney, but I think we all just want somebody that embodies the best parts of Walt and what he wanted for the parks and what he wanted for the company. So hopefully they can find somebody that fills that void.
All right, Ashley, you're getting in. Will this change have an effect on the parks, both in the short and the long term?
I think more so in the short term than the long term. I think anything announced out, Iger's probably not going to mess with, because his main focus is trying to correct his mistake with Chapek. One, to save the company, two, frankly, to save his own legacy, because he did do a lot of things well, but he also let Chapek completely run out anybody who would have stood to be competition even years ago, and kind of made himself the last man standing by default, and look what it got us. And that was all on Iger's watch. None of what happened in the past 2 years can be a surprise to Iger that it happened. And it just shocks me to the core that he let it happen.
I think he started to see at the end, though. There was that contentious meeting. Yeah.
I think by then it was too late, because, he ignored all the warning signs for too long because he was too busy out buying stuff, to really pay attention. Yeah. But I think the short-term changes we'll see. We're not going to get everything we want. I don't think Genie Plus is going away. My big hope, and I've said it a couple of times this weekend, I just want them to fix the algorithm math, so that it's a better experience and you feel like you're actually getting something that you pay for. I do think that will be on the pipeline because, I mean, that is something that's getting traction even from people now that aren't Parks fans, especially now that we're entering peak season. Word's getting out that it's a terrible system. And so I think he will work overall on guest experience. I think that's where we're going to see the short-term impact. We're not going to see cost. We're not going to see prices drop on anything. But I think his focus is going to be guest experience and cast member experience, which I am excited about. Getting some morale for the cast members up would be a great thing, especially right now after everything that they've been through. And I think that's where we're going to see the impact in the parks. And Tron finally opening, maybe reservations go away.
Tron has been through 3 CEOs.
Right?
Oh, goodness.
So I think it's not going to be a miracle from on high, but I think the short term is really where we're going to see the difference. Nothing long term. The long-term changes will be determined by who he picks.
Speaking of guest experience, I have friends who are in the parks right now, first timers or first time in a long time, and she literally just posted how it's equally as frustrating as it is magical.
Mm-hmm.
They had a great time on an attraction, wanted to ride it again, couldn't.
Yeah,
and that's not what this is supposed to be about at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the old Fast Pass system worked so much better. I mean, if you want to put the paid Fast Pass, Universal does it. It's not a big deal. Max Pass was successful. Just do it better.
And they have the math. That's what I don't understand. They have the algorithms and the math for the return time. How did we bungle this so badly? They've even capped it now. Just go back to the old math for return times. It shouldn't be this hard.
No, it shouldn't. But they did fire, all of their tech people. So good
this is
job
also
on that.
true. So
Arlo, you are the CEO. What is going to be your first move?
I'd say my first move would definitely be stop vilifying Tom Corliss at every meeting. No, but in seriousness, I think my first move is just completely overhauling the way that the company treats its most loyal fans. I've seen this like the last couple of months and years just as a fan, but also as someone who just, cares about this company a lot and sees the stuff that people talk about on Twitter and all of the ridiculous things that you see go on in the world of the parks right now. But I mean, the fact that they sold for Disneyland, which is, my area of expertise, they sold annual passes again for about 36 hours, and then they were gone. And if it was also, they chose that the best time for that would be with no announcement, 9 a.m. on a Wednesday. So, it was not necessarily, I mean, I was lucky enough to have gotten a pass during that time, but I know dozens of people who were like, I wanted to, but I couldn't because I was busy, because I was working, because it was 9 a.m. on a Wednesday. It was not set up well, and there are dozens of situations like that. I think that as CEO, I just need to pave over that relationship, make it back to what it was before, back when, we had lounges in attractions, we had gifts that would be given out that aren't, the weird things they do now, like a reusable straw and cleaner, or, we got magnets. And,
right. Those aren't terrible. I mean, it's not what Universal does for their APs, but yeah.
No, it's true. But in the past, when your gift has been like, discounted tickets for others, or, special character meet and greets for people that have never made appearances in 30 years. I mean, I remember 2017 when I was still an annual pass holder under the old system, when Electrical Parade came back. They did the AP Days thing, and I think that was March of 2017, where they had like a little lounge for you, and where they ripped out Starcade, and a bunch of character meet and greets. I think like the Robin Hood characters came out, and like people that literally you hadn't seen in the parks for at least the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Certainly not in my lifetime. But you just got all this fan service that
Yeah.
has just vanished in the past 5 years. And I think
Yeah.
that's the first step. Is there's this business model under the previous CEO that said annual pass holders were the devil. They did not contribute to the numbers the way management wanted. I think, but also on the other side of that coin, the perks were pretty dead often. I mean, certainly before passes came back, I remember going to Disneyland and it just being completely empty. And they just need to realize that it is a huge part of their business, especially in California, and start making that the goal again, is just to make your fans happy.
Courtney, can Disney provide the premium product they are charging for?
I think they can. I think if they get people that know what they're doing and somebody that is, more importantly, open to listen to new ideas. I think that's been probably the biggest, I don't know, obstacle that they've had, is somebody that just doesn't care about the fact that you can't make something more expensive and more complicated. You have to pick one. And there's absolutely no way possibly that they could probably walk back from the price point that they're at. I mean, they could, but that would be crazy. But to be able to make it less complicated would be the absolutely most important thing.
All right, Ashley, you get the hardest question I'm going to ask in this game. What did Chapek do well?
He made sure that Eisner wasn't going down in history as the most hated CEO. So revived Eisner's legacy a little bit. And I think another thing that he did well is that he showed that Iger was fallible. I think, and I kind of harped on it a little bit before. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that Chapek's gone. I am cautiously optimistic that Iger is back. But Iger wasn't perfect. And even he was starting to get some hate towards the end of his tenure. He made a lot of great decisions, but he also made a lot of poor decisions. And chiefly among them was letting Chapek get as far as he did. I mean, again, we started ragging on Chapek as CEO, as bad for the parks way back then. And we weren't the only ones. We may have been the most vocal and came up, with great robotic jokes. But we were not the only ones. And then all the debacles that happened with Shanghai being built and opening, he wasn't perfect. And I think that is what Chapek has done well, is that he has, I think he's humbled the leadership at Disney a little bit, especially now that he has been ousted in such, a spectacular fashion. I think they were getting a little bit too big for their britches and thinking that they were infallible again. It's like they learned nothing from Eisner. And I said it earlier. Chapek looked at Eisner's legacy and said, "Hold my beer. I can do it better and I can do it faster." And just they continue to repeat the mistakes of the past. And I think it taught them, I think it taught him well. And I think that's what he did. That will be his legacy, that he humbled leadership and reminded them that they need to pay attention. And it's not just all about the bottom line.
Really well said. Very well done. Courtney, you're going to have to follow that. I have to ask, is Josh D'Amaro the right person to run the parks?
I've actually met Josh D'Amaro and I still can't answer that question.
Pause.
You
come back to that.
Yeah, he's everywhere, right?
He's never anywhere I am, which I'm beginning to think might be a reason for that.
It's hard to say, because I know a lot of people are angry with him because he went along with everything Chapek said, but that also was his job. So anybody that's worked in any kind of corporate job knows that. I mean, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna go on Disney Parks blog and talk about how much he hates Bob Chapek and everything that he's been doing? So it's hard to say, because I don't know what kind of person or leader he necessarily is. I like that he boosts up cast members. That's a really big and important thing. And if I would have gotten Arlo's question, which, I mean, the annual pass holders are very important, but the cast members need to be focused on. I know Abigail Disney is seen as like an extremist to a lot of people, but I think we need to listen to her and listen to what she's saying. And I don't know if Josh D'Amaro was the person to do that, then yes.
Well said. We continue with the Chapek. Wow, I write these things and I can't say them. We continue with the Chapek shakeup and another huge rumor that's going along with it: Apple buying Disney. Ashley, would this actually be a good thing for Disney?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Maybe if Steve Jobs was still alive and in charge of Apple. And I say that because Steve Jobs, obviously, between Pixar and other things, and he seemed to have, I mean, he wasn't, a fanboy necessarily like us, but he did seem to have an affinity for the company. He did seem to enjoy it and love the company and seem to genuinely care. And I think that's really what we need is we need somebody with a healthy respect for the company and for the legacy. I think that's, again, where a lot of Iger does shine for his faults. He did have respect for the legacy. And that's even where Eisner was successful, is when he did, things that in the vein of what Walt would do. He got a little carried away, but that's what we need. And Apple doesn't have that anymore. Apple's, it's a company. They're running themselves greatly. But I don't think anybody in Apple leadership would have any idea what to do with Disney. They would repeat the same mistakes that Chapek did. It would just be all about the bottom dollar, all about instant gratification, and they would just chop it up and run it into pieces. I mean, I think they would do better I think they would chop it up, quite frankly. I think they would spin the parks off and let somebody else run them. I think they would stick to and have, licensing agreements for tech. Obviously, you'd start seeing Apple tech everywhere in the parks, but that's all that they would do. And then they have dipped their toe in the water with streaming with Apple TV. So I think they would keep the content, but I think Apple would chop it up for parts. And that's obviously not what we need or what we want. They have no idea what they're doing. I sincerely hope that does not come to fruition. Apple is big enough as it is, and it just needs to stay in its lane.
All right. I think you covered kind of what the parks would look like in that situation. So I'm going to skip that question. I'm going to bounce over to you, Courtney. Is there another company you think could run the Disney company better than current management?
No. I think it's really important to Disney to keep its identity. Granted, we've again come so far from where we were with Walt, but I don't know. It's become so big. It's such a big conglomerate that it feels even wrong to say that we could even get back to where it started. But I think it's really important to keep the history, to keep the roots, and to maintain its identity.
All right. Very well said there. Arlo, you're going to get a difficult question here. Ashley got the one. What did Chapek do well? Where does Chapek land after all this?
I mean, it's a perfectly valid question that I've heard bounce around a little bit over the past couple of days. And it's an interesting one. It kind of does play back into that, what did he do well? And playing off of that a bit, he is someone who came from merchandising, knows very well a direct-to-consumer model, tried to implement that in a world that doesn't really lend itself to that, which I think was really
That's a
on top
very
of
good point.
Completely destroying a lot of the company's goodwill just by kind of coming into the thing like a bull in a china shop. There's a lot of things that if it was a direct-to-consumer market, I could see it working really well. And I think that's where he lands somewhere from now on, is somewhere that is in merchandising or just, again, a direct-to-consumer market. I am not someone who knows what that market is. I don't pretend to. I am not a businessman. I'm a 19-year-old college student. And I don't necessarily know what that job looks like. I'm just sure it's out there. You pretty much never see a high-profile executive, even at the most just PR disaster. You don't really see people disappear. I mean, John Lasseter is still working, which I think says enough about the way that executives move around in corporate America and don't really disappear. I think he ends up somewhere. I don't think this is the end of him. Hopefully that somewhere is not, like Tom said last night, filing a defamation lawsuit against this company.
That was fun,
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh, look at that. Time of the show's up. Gotta go.
No, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Twitter probably might need a new CEO soon. I could see him landing there.
It's fine. All right. Anyone, last JPEG takes before we get to the end of the round. All right. That brings us to our first score update of the game. We only have 3 people, so we will not be sending anyone into the pit this round. You'll all 3 make it to round 2, but we're headed over to the second part of our first round, which is the keys to the kingdom. All right. The check of the scoreboard sees that. Wait a minute. I have Ashley at 23, Courtney at 24, and Arlo at 21. Plenty of time for points. Going to the pit of despair, so let's just build up your banks as we head into that second segment, which is, of course, the keys to the kingdom. We're going to do some fast, quick, hard-hitting points on the Disney Empire. This one's a little more local. Not just in Epcot. We do go to other places, but we are talking about the Festival of Opinions. Arlo, should Italy just stop having a booth?
Certainly under whoever runs it now, yes. It's a pavilion in World Showcase. It should obviously have a booth for any festival. It's just whoever runs it now shouldn't be in the food business. I don't know how hard that is, because also, like, all the other restaurants in the Italy pavilion are pretty fantastic, so I don't know how this one can continuously just
it makes no sense.
Ruins. And also, like, it's Italy. It's like, if you go to even like just an Italian restaurant, even in just about any city, as long as it's not, like Olive Garden or something like that, it's gonna be pretty spectacular food, I've found. And that's not necessarily the case for a ton of other cuisines. It's not incredibly difficult, it seems, to make a good Italian restaurant. So I don't know how a festival booth in already an Italy pavilion with some fantastic food, I don't know how you mess up that bad.
Yeah, no, that's really good points. Ashley, what booth are you most looking forward to?
I'm most looking forward to the holiday hearth desserts. I'm a sucker for red velvet cake, and they have not won. Or is it somewhere? Sorry, I was looking at the menu because I haven't actually looked at it yet. But they have the red velvet. It is them. They have the red velvet abundant cake or bundt cake, however you say it. I'm very tired. But that is what I'm a sucker for. I think especially for the holidays, that's really what people are looking for. Food and wine, you go for little offerings of like steak and pork and all these different foods. Holidays are all about sweets and treats, and that's what I really love to see. Even in Italy, like, why can't we have some good Italian desserts at that booth? You don't need to have salmon tartare and tortellini. Like, first of all, those are things that shouldn't just be sitting under a warming plate in a booth anywhere. So to Arlo's point, who's making these decisions? But just give me some good Italian desserts. There's so many good ones. That's all we want. We want to stroll around, drink like hot toddies and hot cocoa and things like that, and have some cookies and have some really desserts. That's what makes it feel like the holiday. And so again, holiday hearth would be my absolute. I think they have a great selection of desserts. They've got a classic gingerbread. They've got snowball cookies, peppermint bark. Again, the red velvet.
That's
How
classic.
could you go
That's
wrong
so
there?
classic. Yeah.
Yes,
definitely.
Absolutely classic holiday.
I mean, in Italy, you can get a little sfogliatelle, a cannoli. I was just talking to my mom about Oh God, I don't want to butcher it. I'll have my family coming after me, and if you're Italian, you really don't want your family coming after you. Those little honey balls, I think they're strufoli, and they're just, oh my God, they're so good. There's Italian desserts out the yin yang. Get it some desserts.
Mhm.
Courtney, so many festivals, so many booths. What do you think is missing from the festival offerings? And knowing you like I do, I think I have a pretty good idea what you're gonna say.
Like
Mm.
vegetarian options?
Yeah, because there's not a lot. Yeah.
No, there's not. I feel
No.
like used to it at this point. I don't know. I guess being from the Midwest and having traveled a lot throughout the US, I think it's really a shortcoming that they only have one American booth. I think it'd be really
Mhm.
cool to see regional offerings. There's different
Yeah.
regional like specialties in the
Right.
holidays. Lots
Get
of
some hot
casseroles
dish.
in the Midwest here. Yeah, exactly. My grandmother's from the South, and we ate a lot of like pearled onions and pickled hair, like things that we
Mhm.
don't eat here in the Midwest. So I think that would be really interesting. I think that they probably should open up more booths for Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, other celebrations other than Christmas. The kind of like token L'chaim booth is usually sad every year. So it'd be
I
nice
think
to
they did
actually get
really
some
well this
experts.
year. It
Did
looks a
they? I
lot
haven't even
better
looked
this
at
year.
it.
Yeah, it
Okay,
looks a lot
good.
better this year.
Mhm.
But using
Is it
mashed
black and white
potatoes
cookie?
for your my wife is stoked. She's very upset we're not going. But using mashed potatoes for a latke instead of shredded potatoes, that's a rookie move right there. That's a rookie move.
Yeah.
Arlo, East Coast, West Coast, we're starting the beef. Who does the holidays best?
I am so glad I got this question. You have no idea, because I have been having this fight with people for a very, very, very long time. And to me, there is only one answer. And it's not going to win me any popularity contest with the Florida people, but Disneyland, far and away, does the holidays better than anyone else. Better than Florida, better than Paris, honestly, even better than Tokyo. We have, I think, the best of every world. We have fantastic holiday overlays. In fact, two of, I think, the greatest attractions
Reach.
in the Disney Pantheon, with Small
Mhm.
World Holiday and Mansion Holiday. At DCA, we have a Festival of the Holidays that, kind of like Courtney said, actually does cover a ton of different holidays other than Christmas, because you'll go up to those booths and you have the little Mickeys that are the different holidays. So you'll see, oh, this booth celebrates Diwali and Hanukkah. This is Christmas and, oh my god, I'm forgetting, Navidad, and like all these other ways to celebrate the season. And it's just this incredible, I think DCA does Festival of the Holidays better than Epcot does, bar none. And also, the main thing that puts Disneyland ahead of the curve on every level for the holidays, our entertainment is top notch. You have some incredible classics at Disneyland. A Christmas Fantasy Parade, which has been running since 1994. Believe in Holiday Magic, which is an incredible fireworks show, and it is the closest you will get to Illuminations now that that is gone. It is incredible pieces of classic entertainment for the whole family. And then you go over to DCA, and you have Mickey's Happy Holidays Cavalcade, which is an adorable little mini parade, and then the actual greatest nighttime spectacular that's currently running, World of Color Season of Light, which is this incredible next generation version of already an incredible show with the original World of Color that they then updated and went through and took all the tricks they knew how to do in that lagoon and improved upon them and made this truly just awe-inspiring version of a World of Color show. And
Can
also,
you tell
all
me
of
what this entertainment you speak of is?
that. I mean,
Is it an
yeah,
attraction? Is it an activation?
it's all stuff that Florida doesn't really see, and all of it, I need to mention, is not behind a paywall like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is.
Ooh,
Like, Mickey's Very
wow.
Merry Christmas Party is a lot of
Wow.
fun, but we get that all
Mm.
for free. We don't have a party hard ticket
Alright.
connected to it.
Yeah, but you got Oogie Boogie Bash, and you do have to pay for that. So, and that's really good. I would
Well,
pay
yeah,
for
but
that.
that's better.
It is better. Ashley, should we see more festivals in other parks?
I don't know about festivals necessarily. I think there is something special about keeping the festivals themselves to Epcot and calling it a festival. What I would like to see is some more, I think specialty offerings is probably the best way to put it. More celebration of things like the holidays really represented in the parks, more entertainment. Merry Menagerie is adorable and is so cute. I want to see a Christmas parade back at Animal Kingdom. I don't think it needs a parade all the time, but I think especially during the holidays, it's kind of slept on, hence the Merry Menagerie.
Mm-hmm.
I think things like that. Why in Hollywood Studios, which is supposedly after the Gilded Age of Hollywood, and I get it might be a little bit awkward, but around Oscar season, why don't we see promo for things like celebration of things that are Disney properties that are nominated for Oscars or Golden Globes? Like,
that's
you're
actually
seeing to the
exactly what I was
golden age
thinking.
of Hollywood. Like, why aren't we calling out and like having things themed to the Oscars? To get the hype up for Disney products that are nominated for Oscars, kind of, by in a way, putting a little bit of pressure, showing that people enjoy these things so that people will vote for them when they are nominated. Like, that would be great cross promotion. And as Chapek likes to say, that's synergy. That is how you do synergy. Saying you are a synergy machine does not make it so. I want things like that. I want little touches, little nods when things special are coming. I don't think we need full-fledged festivals everywhere. I think that would just be overload. But again, just those little touches that we used to have, the little special things that you would happen upon and discover just at random times of the year, I think would be perfect touches to the parks.
All right. I hate to do this. Number one, Ashley got a bonus point for moderating the chat while on the show, so nice job, Ashley. I'm about to give a hard ticketed event to Walt Disney World. I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna go with the holiday season. Roll a red carpet down Hollywood Boulevard. Have a red carpet event. You can have past hors d'oeuvres, and like you could maybe project the Oscar does have serious trademarks, and I doubt they would give it to Disney. But I mean, there's stuff you can do to make it feel like
a Mickey statue.
Yeah,
you could do a Mickey.
perfect.
Sell the little Mickey Oscar statues. You could do a Mickey statue.
Awards night in Hollywood Studio would be huge, especially if you got people dress up so well for Dapper Days. Could you imagine coming into Hollywood Studios in like an evening gown or a
golden
tux?
era? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Golden age.
Soap Stars weekend. Who?
Running down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Yeah, bring back Soap Stars. Oh, goodness. All right, we ran a little bit long, so I'm going to give Courtney the final question of the round, and I actually finished typing it. So if you didn't see it before, let's close it out with something fun. Courtney, what country do you think should be in a festival of fictional places?
Oh, I think especially for the holidays, Arendelle would work really well. You could have a lot of chocolate things. You could have a lot of kind of Scandinavian desserts too, their own interpretations. It'd be great if Olaf had like a frozen hot chocolate. I think Arendelle would probably be pretty great.
Definitely. All right. So just give me a second to tally up the scores right now. Arlo's at 21. Arlo, you have 34 points. Boom.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Good vamping. 16. Ashley. Ashley, you have 39 points.
Woohoo!
And Courtney, 16. You had a point lead. I think you scored the same amount of points in this round. Correct. So you still have a point lead. Arlo would have been heading into the pit of despair, but we only had a 4-top, so I did not need that fourth person. So you're coming in. Arlo, you got a chance to make up these points and avoid the pit of despair in our next round. Oh, hey, I even faded that one out. It's almost like I was a professional at one point in time. Welcome to our original second round. We play Hit, Miss, or Meh, where our contestants would tell us whether something has been a hit, a success, a miss, a failure, or a meh. somewhere in between. Each contestant will get to talk about each topic. We'll go through them one by one. We go with the lowest score first. So, Arlo, hit miss or meh Bob Chapek's reign as CEO.
Failure. Colossal failure.
Short, sweet, and to the point. Oh, you're still going. Go.
All right. Is there supposed to be an explanation? I mean, I think we've lived.
That's where you would get some points.
Okay, so I mean, so much of this has just been directly out of like a just fairy tale fiction. It's been kind of insane living this. You've seen, because I mean, we kind of, Tom's mentioned this 1,000 times. We as Parks people knew this guy was trouble before he made it to CEO, and when he did, everyone in Parks was just like, "I'm sorry, what? This guy? You're choosing to go with this guy?" And then, I mean, there were so many dozens of situations where Chapek just showed just how incompetent he was. I mean, the whole situation with the Don't Say Gay bill, Scarlett Johansson and that whole drama, even just like small petty stuff, like, I mean, a 50th that was just awful, tons of that.
Not even a full monorail wrap.
Right, yeah, just one car of one monorail. It's stuff that wouldn't have happened under, I think, any other CEO, even whoever your pick of the second most disastrous Disney CEO is, whether that be Michael Eisner or Ron Miller. I don't know if I
think you
say
go with Ron Miller. Michael Eisner gets a bad rap. He he was okay, and he was personable. Like, if you go back and you look at Michael Eisner doing some of the bits with the Muppets, they're really good. All right, Ashley, hit me. Meh. Bob Chapek.
Miss. For all of the reasons that Arlo said and then some. I mean, again, we could go on for forever. Don't Say Gay, Scarlett Johansson, even the Lake Nona move. Who thought that was a good idea? Again, that to me demonstrated that you have no respect for the company, for its history, for its legacy. WDI was, I mean, you could argue that WDI and animation are the things that built Walt Disney as a company. And to just completely say, we're going to move, it's only been at this one place for 100 years and there's tons of history and everything, but we're going to move, and it's in 3 months. And if you don't like it, there's the door. To lose that much talent over, politics, tax breaks, I don't know. It just, but it was so short-sighted and not worth it. I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier. If you want to open a base of operations in Lake Nona, sure, give people the option to work coast to coast. Yeah. That would have been fantastic, because you may have had people that wanted to move. But to just be like, we're shuttering WDI in California, you thought that was going to go over well? They lost Rhodey. How could you let How could you let Rhodey leave? How? That, I mean, you want to talk about a legacy, somebody who, was leading Imagineering and was, helping train the next generation and everything, and was a personable face of Imagineering, and over stupid, you let him go. And that, and not to mention all of the other talent that has left recently. We can name him forever. He just, from start to finish, he bungled it. Cooking the books, we talked about that earlier. He's getting sued, or I mean, I guess he's not getting sued anymore, but Disney's now getting sued for streaming prices. I haven't had a chance to read that article yet, but I mean, just one thing. Yeah, I don't know fully what it's about, but I saw the headline. It's just one thing after another. Everything the man touched, he broke. Everything. There's not a part of the company, I don't think, that doesn't have part of him in it that is terrible. That has come out for the worse. Not one. That's a travesty.
When you did just okay running a ketchup company, Disney is not the next step. All right, Courtney, hit, miss,
But I almost
or
forgot. Where are my trams? I want my trams back. I was promised trams
Yeah.
in all parks by the end of 2022. Why are we entering peak season and I don't have my trams? Where are they?
you know the answer to that
Sorry.
question. You know the answer.
I know the answer to that question.
Because money. All right, Courtney, hit, miss,
Mhm.
Matt. Bobby Chapes, Bob C. As a
Obvious
CEO.
miss. I'm going to bring up the cast members again because just, you know, hearing about him wanting to lay off people before the first stimulus kicked in for COVID, we were all handed, you know, an awful year the past few years, but he was essentially the captain on the Titanic, and his ego was too big to listen to anybody saying, there's an iceberg, you need to move. So he did this to himself.
Yeah, that's very valid points. All right, swinging it on to something that I love, and I'm sad that Rob's not here. Rob Whiteside is actually in the parks right now, jerk. So, Ashley, we'll start with you for this one. Holiday popcorn buckets and sippers. Hit, miss, or meh?
I think overall they're a hit. I think it's an easy hit. I think anytime, especially holidays. But I think this year they really did hit it out of the park with something a little bit different with the music box one. I think they
Good
took
point.
I think they took a few nods from Tokyo on that one, and it's really adorable. I'm not one to collect popcorn buckets, and I want that one. It was really cute. They didn't just do generic, generic Christmas music. They actually took Christmas music from the parks. So there was some thought and care put into that one, and I say kudos for it.
Nice. Courtney, buckets, sippers for the holidays, anywhere. Tell me, are they a hit? Are they a miss? Are they a meh?
For me, they're kind of a meh. I'm not a huge collector, and if I do collect something, it needs to have like a use at my actual house. So it's not
All
really
this has
my
uses.
game.
It's a bowl. I can eat out of this.
No judgment.
I won't let
no
anyone
judgment.
eat out of this, but I could.
I was gonna say, in theory.
You're keeping Disney afloat, Patrick. Keep it going.
No, Rob is worse, but yeah, go ahead.
I would love to see, I feel like popcorn buckets kind of Tokyo's thing. And I feel like Disneyland was going in the right direction with like churro holders. I'd love if we could get something unique to Disney World, like maybe like a Mickey pretzel holder, or I don't know, Dole Whip, holder, something, I don't know, something new would be great.
Yeah.
I like, yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right, Arlo, hit, miss, meh, those buckets and sippers.
Absolutely a hit.
Hey,
yeah, this is my favorite thing. It is, and it's like metal. It's like nice, and it was the same price as any other popcorn bucket. I literally had to rope drop this on the day they came out because it had 6-hour lines the rest of the day. But I think it's absolutely a miss, or a hit. Oh my god, hit. Sorry. Absolutely a huge hit. I think it's fantastic. It plays like, I mean, everything Ashley said earlier, that it plays the music from the parks. It's also, they spent so much effort on this. Like, I mean, just the art on the side is like original and just so pretty. Of course, I can't figure out the angle of my camera, but it's just all this new artwork that's just gorgeous. And I think they did a fantastic job. The sipper that is the reindeer costume, I don't have that with me, but I was in awe of that. I think they're finally realizing that parks people want stuff that centers around the parks, and I think the merchandise team is understanding that. And I mean, this stuff is fantastic. It's everything we asked for and more, I feel like.
Well said, and kudos and points for the visual prop there. Good job. All right, this is we're gonna head over to Hollywood. Courtney, Strange World, hit, miss, or meh? Is it Strange Worlds?
Strange World. Worlds?
Yep.
I don't know.
Worlds?
I saw it a few days ago. I loved it. I don't know who else has seen it, and it's hard because there's actually a really big twist in the movie, so I can understand why they had to be kind of demure in the advertising of it. But I thought it was really good. It reminded me of like really good PBS shows from the 90s and 2000s. And it's really about the next step in humankind and where we go from here if we pillage the planet. I think that if they would have circled it around living with the land, it would have been like the best promotion that they could have done. But yeah, I thought it was a hit. I'm bummed nobody's gonna go see it, but
Arlo, hit, miss, match, strange. I think it's Worlds. Strange Worlds. The movie that came out, Arlo.
I'm gonna have to go hit just because I've heard absolutely amazing things. Personally, I have not seen it yet. I'm planning on doing that either early this next week. But it does look just gorgeous, if nothing else. From the trailers, that animation just looks just
pops. It really pops.
It's clear they've come so far in the worlds of computer animation from Chicken Little to now. And it's just absolutely a beautiful movie. The cast looks fantastic, and I'm very excited to see it. And people seem to really like it, so I'm going to say it's a hit.
All right, Ashley, hit, miss, meh, Strange Worlds.
I'm gonna go with meh. Granted, I haven't seen the movie, but I think I'm also not. I'm not overly interested in seeing it. I've heard varying things. I've heard some people love it, some people really didn't care for it. But at the end of the day, the marketing has been terrible. And I get what Courtney's saying because she has seen it, that there's a twist. I should still be seeing the name of it. I didn't even realize this was a thing until like 3 days before it came out. Why did I not know? Like, there was no marketing. Like, this was John Carter level marketing. Nobody
Ashley
really
knows how to get points on the show.
I mean,
you said the magic words.
There was no marketing for it. And Onward got more marketing. And I think based on what y'all are saying, that was probably a worse movie than what this is going to be. Why? Like, I might pop it on streaming one day, but I don't understand how they're getting marketing so wrong. And I think for that reason alone, as a fan, it doesn't make me want to go see the movie, because if they didn't have enough faith to go see it, there can be sleeper hits. Again, John Carter, but that were great. But most of the time, the ones that they don't promote just come out and die because they are terrible. So I'm not going to necessarily in these economic times necessarily waste my time, or for me personally, have to trek 45 minutes to a decent movie theater to go see it. I'm going to wait for it to pop out on Disney Plus. And I think that it's a shame.
I think that is really the switch we're seeing here. There's no reason to see animation in a movie theater. There's nothing that's really
I don't
added.
think that's true.
Or
You
it
don't
could
think
be.
so?
I think there
this
could be.
movie is like being inside of a like crazy trippy lava lamp for 2 hours. It is definitely worth seeing on a giant screen.
I lay the blame on marketing. I really do. And I think that can be true of any animation. Animation is beautiful, especially up on a big screen. But yeah, if they're not going to market it well, then no, it's not going to drive anybody to want to go see it, because it does take effort nowadays to do that when streaming is so easy.
That's true.
All right, Ashley, we're going to go hit miss meh, the Beacon of Light shows on Spaceship Earth.
Hit. Absolute sleeper hit. I know that we kind of mocked the idea of the giant, like when we first saw them, they looked like those like push lights that you saw on the infomercials back in the day. And everybody was apprehensive and thought it was going to be, look awful and mar Spaceship Earth, just like the Wand did back at the new, at the Millennium. But when I say it's a genuine hit, I love those short little shows. Tree of Life Awakening is beautiful. This is beautiful. And it's so special, and it's just a nice touch. And it really, when you consider a Disney parks budget, it costs them nothing to do, but it's incredible. to watch people just stand around and watch it. When the Rainbow Connection one came out for festival, that was the entire reason why I made a trip in January for festival. When my daughter was born, she loves Rainbow Connection. And that's been her one of her lullabies since she was born, is the old Kermit Rainbow Connection. And so to get to sit there and watch it dance and sing to her at night, especially when she was still, she was only like 6 months old at the time, it was so special, and not something that I knew I needed, but a memory that I will treasure forever. And that's what the park should be about, is those little touches, those special things that get you, that you didn't even realize was missing, that you needed.
Well said. Meanwhile, my daughter loves Old Town Road because it was coming out while she was in utero, and I played it to annoy my wife. And when she was fussy, it was one of the only things that could calm her down. And every now and then, she'll still just really get into it. Courtney, the Beacon of Light shows on Spaceship Earth. Hit, miss? Meh.
Definitely a hit. I'm a Disney Parks night person. If I can avoid being there in the heat of the day ever and spend time at night when, sorry, but A, there's less kids, and B, everything's lit up. Like it's just the best time. So I think this was a small way that they really kind of brought up the park. We need one for Hollywood Studios, though. We need some fun light show at Hollywood Studios.
Mm-hmm.
When they had the Star Wars fireworks, they did projections on the theater, and I know
they did a movies one that was really cute. I forget what the name of it was.
And they did the Toy Story at the end on Tower
but
of
I
Terror.
do think they're cute, but I do agree with Courtney that they could be slightly better. I think the projection mapping is cool, but kind of lazy, because it's really just it's a projector that you could project on anything, because they're just projecting movies. I think they could be a little bit more creative with it.
All right, Arlo, hit miss. Beacons of Light on Spaceship Earth.
I think Spaceship Earth is the only Beacons of Light show that truly is a hit in a way that the others don't. Kind of like Ashley was just saying, that there is projection mapping on the other ones. Tree of Life is great. That one's pretty good. But Studios and Magic Kingdom, there's nothing interesting about them, because at this point, projection mapping in a Disney park has now been something that's existed since 2005 with Wishes in Paris. And now, slowly, that's been making its way around the world. But just projections aren't that interesting anymore. It's something we've seen. It's something we know. And especially when you have something like Happily Ever After, where, there's incredible moments where the show comes off the castle into the real world in a way that the projections themselves don't do. Like when Merida shoots the arrow and they shoot off the comet that then hits the target shell. Moments like that you don't really get in projections, and I think Spaceship Earth's Beacons of Light fixed that. I think some shows are better than others. I think the absolute top of the line was the Epcot 40th one they did, where they played Reflections and Listen to the Land, and they had the Dreamcatcher go across animated. It was really good. And then, the Pocahontas one and the Be Our Guest one but overall, that, like you mentioned, that Rainbow Connection one is top of the line fantastic. And, even the base one it's not as flashy and cool as Rainbow Connection or the 40th one, but it's still really good. It's interesting, and it feels a lot more physical than those other shows, just because they are actual lights and not projections. And I think they did a really good job. I think it's clear that's the one thing on the 50th that people actually liked, and I think there's a reason for that. I think it's a really good addition.
All right, we're going to stick in Epcot and actually just a little bit behind Spaceship Earth. Arlo, we're starting with you. I had too many topics, so I'm going to take this one out of here. Moana, The Journey of Water. Arlo, hit, miss, or meh?
I'm gonna have to go with meh. It looks like it's gonna be cute. It looks like they're putting a lot of effort into making it look good, making it be entertaining. I adore Moana. I think that movie is fantastic. I don't know if it gets flack. I mean, it certainly does just because they don't do good things with it. But I want to see an e-ticket Moana ride. I want to see something that's actually like really big and spectacular, something akin to, I mean, Frozen Ever After is somewhere in between there, but I want to see like a big budget Rise of the Resistance show for Moana. Like, I want to see that movie get the love it deserves and get an attraction worth its name. This doesn't amount to that. This is a water play area that somehow took them 3 years to create. I don't know how you manage. MCO built a new terminal in the time that it's taken Disney to build a water play area.
It's water,
Like-
Arlo. It's hard magic to harness.
It's hard to.
Tricky, okay?
They get to. Yeah, I don't know how it takes Tron. Tron doesn't make sense because it's a clone, but I mean, at least that's a big new roller coaster. This, we've been waiting in a somewhat comparable amount of time, not quite as long, but what do people think it's gonna be? Like, there's not animatronics in this thing. It's water jets and some rock work, and I have no idea why it's taken them this long. But I don't think it's bad. I think it's gonna be cute. The art and stuff we're seeing come out of it looks really nice. I think it's a meh. I don't see it becoming Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't see it using a boarding group when it opens, but I think it'll be cute.
All right. Yeah, how would they board that? Yeah, okay. Ashley, hit miss or meh.
I want it to be a hit, and maybe this is changing perspective as a mom. But one, I love Moana. It's a great movie that needs a lot more representation in the parks than it gets. But also, and I know this is a cliche thing to say, I need more things for my kid to do at Epcot. Especially in Future World. Like, actually, there's now more for her to do in World Showcase than there is in Future World, which is an interesting thing to me. And part of that is now she's old enough to kind of eat food, so we can give her snacks and things like that, and she can kind of participate in the festival with us a little bit. But you've got Ratatouille, you've got Frozen, you've got Three Caballeros, kind of all strategically placed. I think they've balanced that out well. But when talking about Future World, like, she's got Imagination, which is a terrible ride and scares the bejesus out of her at the end when the explosion happens. I've never seen a child like come out of their skin higher than she did the first time we did that, and it went boom in the dark. And Living with the Land, and I guess you've got Turtle Talk with Crush, but that's, I mean, you want to talk about a terrible unrepresented attraction that needs a refurb. Lots of things need a refurb. But the parks are supposed to be about family. I need more things that she can do and participate in. I think this is a great use of Moana as a character. I think especially the story with, water conservation plays well with Epcot. I just hope they don't budget cut it to death. I hope we get what they promised, at least for the most part. I want it to be a hit. I think it's going to be meh because I think Shape had already cut the budget, but we'll see.
Maybe they can add it back. Just
maybe. Iger, get on that. That's one of the short-term things I need you to fix.
What really stinks is that my daughter can't drink as much as I do when we go around the world. Can't hold it at all.
You got to work at it.
She was terrified of Turtle Talk. She was like, "Why is that giant turtle talking to me?" She bolted right out.
And I'm sure it's just age, but Audrey didn't know what to make of it. Like, she just stared at it and didn't really understand what was happening.
All right. Courtney, you're up next. Hit Miss Meh, Moana, The Journey of Water.
Meh. I'm going to hold out. It's just hard, especially with the IPs in Epcot recently and how they've kind of used that to erode what Epcot has originally stood for. I'm hoping that this isn't the case. I'm hoping they focus on like water conservation. It'd be great to have a tie-in with the natural world in that way. So it really just depends on which direction they take it. If it's just like Frozen the ride, and then they're just like retelling some story about Moana, and there just happens to be water, then it's a miss. But if they use it to teach kids, where rain comes from and how to keep our water clean so that we can keep living on this planet, that would be great. So I'm holding out.
All right, that is going to bring to a close this round. I decided not to do the Guardians question, although maybe I will. I'm looking at the time. We got 40 minutes. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm going to announce the scores, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the scores. Arlo, 72 points. He is on the bottom. Courtney, 75 points in the middle. Ashley in the lead. All those John Carter references buoyed Ashley into the lead. 78, 75, 72. Now, we're going to go run through our donations. So looking at the start of our show, Michelle Duran, thank you so much, $20 donation. Jordan Garrett, $50 donations. Gotta support my teammate at WDWNT events, Courtney. Hi, Jordan.
Hey,
It's always good to hear from you. So that is 50 points for Courtney, which brings her to 125 points.
Thanks, Jordan.
We're gonna go ahead and Catherine Thompson donated $7. I love seeing this group of people again. Heart emoji, KBBB. Then I don't know if it's Noel or Noel Schornhorst. Gives a $25 donation for Arlo being the best CEO.
Hey!
Arlo, that is going to give you 25 points, and that is going to bring your score up to 97. All right, let's scroll down here in the donations. Anonymous donated $50. No person to give the points. Thank you, Anonymous. We appreciate you. And Jason Gatorin, hopefully I'm saying that right, donated $100. No one donated to those points. Merry Christmas from the Gatorins. Gatorins? I don't know. Please tell me if I'm butchering your name. Thank you so much. Now, I'll open it up for 5 minutes. If anybody wants to donate $1 a point, you just have to make sure you put the panelist name in the comments to make sure they get the points. Yes, those are all very nice, very sweet donations. I apparently missed when that came into our lexicon, but I just always think of Dan Housen when we talk about that. So we'll vamp here for a little bit, and then we will send somebody into the pit of despair. You can vote for your favorite panelist. Just give us some money. You can do that at toys.wdwnt.com. Also, if you want to check out our auction items, go to auction.wdwnt.com. There'll be a whole bunch more items added to that. The auction is always my favorite part. Ashley and I nearly got into a fight over an Indiana Jones pop.
I still have it. It's not in here anymore because Audrey kept trying to play with it.
I just noticed that I got like themed things out. So I have Stitch over here. I got my Moana stuff, Avengers, and then everything.
What's your favorite snackable, Patrick?
Well, obviously it is my good friend Baymax. I need the cinnamon roll. Cute. That's my number one Christmas list is the Stitch cinnamon roll because it's so adorable. The smell runs out pretty quickly. I did notice that. Like it doesn't hang around all that often. The Lotso still smells like a lot of strawberry, but the other one's kind of faded. Yeah, I enjoy that so much. All right. I'm not seeing any donations going in. We are gonna just stretch it out. We have 3 more minutes for donations. Toys.wdwnt.com. You can vote for your favorite panelists, give them points. Right now, Courtney and Arlo are going on to the next round, and Ashley will be going into the pit of despair. Oh no, as many times before. But don't worry, there's snacks down there.
It's fine.
Yeah,
they're good snacks.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thank you all for tuning into our marathon. We got about 28 minutes left of Around the Hub. I'll give our panelists plenty of time to come up with something creative. and then we'll come back and we'll talk to you a little bit more because I imagine this isn't going to go all the way through. We're doing this for the Tots. We do this every year. I try and bring back my show every year. Park Center has pretty much replaced Around the Hub. People are like, well, why don't you do it? I'm like, number one, I don't have the skills that like Rob does and our awesome Jake does, where, you know, you can mock up all these things. As I get older, I'm getting less and less technically savvy. So doing Around the Hub and having the points show up would be amazing, but I'd rather just be a panelist on stuff because I can do that. I can literally walk down here. I just fresh out of jiu-jitsu. I got home from jiu-jitsu. I put on a clean shirt and hat, and I started writing the script as quickly as I could. So this was stressful, but oh, thank you.
It was good. It's been good.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
give
What
Ashley.
you back?
Do you have a belt? Are there belts in jiu-jitsu?
Nah, yeah, mine is very white. Just started. I don't have any stripes or anything on it, so I'm a lowly white belt sitting down there. There's not a ton. I think there's only like 6 belts, and they take a very long time to get through. All right, last minute, you can donate to your favorite panelists, and that will get them into the next round for $1 a point. Just make sure to put their name in there. Yes, Jordan, it was 100% easier when it was audio only, and not doing it live. Not doing it live helps a lot because I can edit stuff. I'm more willing to run over and cut things than I am to like run over with this, especially when we're in a tight window, because I know Tom's coming up next. That's Saturday. Oh, he's going to do the honest review of Believe, Sea of Dreams. So can't wait to see that. Cosmic Reed coming back at 3:00. Love Reed. I do believe Angelina will be there too. I thought I saw her earlier in the chat. Cooking with Nick, a different perspective with Jason Diffendahl. Mullet over starring Haymaker, Florida Man. I have no idea what that is. That is.
I don't either. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued.
I did say that I would do chugging 2 beers in 30 seconds because that's rookie stuff. That is really difficult. So that man who was arrested, he did some good work. All right. All right. 5 minutes is up. That means we have 125 points for Courtney. We have 97 points for Arlo. And Ashley, I'm so sorry. You are headed into the pit of despair. Any last words?
No, it was great to see everybody. Don't forget to donate for the Tots. And good luck, Courtney and Arlo.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley. You can hang out because it would look really weird if there was a black box, or you can go. Your choice. It's a free country. All right, cool. All right. In our face-off round, we'll be playing One Little Spark. That is the first ever face-off round I designed because, of course, I'm a huge Figment fan. So we ask our panelists to use their imagination to imagineer an attraction. Well, today is not an attraction. Today's topic is we will build something on the plot of land that was supposed to be Reflections. The floor is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. Just make it make sense and make sure you explain it really well. Give me the details. Arlo, you are behind, so you are going to get to go first. What would you do in the plot of land that was supposed to be Reflections, a Disney resort?
Well, I think that there really only is one answer, and I think that's to build a sort of old-timey water park themed to a swimming hole. Maybe just build a really bad filtration system that connects it to the lake itself. And make a really small pool area that is equipped to handle crowds maybe 40 years ago, but not so much anymore. Some cute little water slides. It's not a plot of land you can do much with. That's, I think, the big thing. I think it opens up the floor to do either a hotel or a small water park, which is what was there. Honestly, Disney World has a lot of hotels. I think a third water park in that location is not the worst idea. Maybe just for guests at Wilderness Campground. Just build something like River Country, but make it like exclusive. Make it only for people who stay in that area at either Wilderness Lodge or Campground. You can theme it to either what it was before or make something new, but you know, you don't have a big enough space to build a water park open to the hundreds of millions of people coming to Disney World every day. You're going to need to do something a little bit smaller scale. But I think if you were to do something, I think you could do something really cute. And I think you could do a really good job with it.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
What are you gonna theme it to? You said you could be like River Country or something else. What else would you theme it to?
I think it could be themed to just about anything. I honestly think it would be cool to do an original storyline, kind of similar to maybe you could tie it into Society of Explorers and Adventurers. Imagine how awesome a sea water park would be.
Ooh.
And it should be DVC exclusive. Now that we're doing this, it should be only for DVC members. You commoners stay out of my water park. It's just for me. It's my water park. All of us DVC members, we need something. You can't take everything from us. All right, Courtney. Arlo gave us his idea. What is your idea for that space where it was supposed to be Reflections, a Disney resort?
I know Discovery Island didn't, maintain its popularity. I think it'd be really cool if Disney kind of educated the public on what kind of conservation efforts they put into Florida, into the land that they live on. That's like my educational answer. But my other answer is I think Disney needs an escape room. I think Universal is going to do it. And I think it would be great if Disney put a multi-level escape room facility there that people, it's kind of, it's hard to get to already. So you could theme it. I was also thinking, sea or some other fun kind of mystical, partially adventurous, environment, kind of escape room would be great. Can you imagine what Disney could do if they really put like their best minds to an escape room? I just think it would be great.
So, has the Universal one opened yet?
I don't
think so.
No.
Are they going to have like a minion escape room? Because that would be the most terrifying thing to try and actually escape.
I think they announced one of them is going to be Classic Monsters, I think, right?
That was the one I remember from the announcement, yeah.
Right. That is... Sorry. I hope everyone didn't hear that. That was a very loud motorcycle that just went by my house. It distracted me. All right. At the end of that round, Arlo had 14 points. Courtney had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 points. That means with a score of 135 to 111, Courtney Bruck, you are our winner of this week's Around the Hub.
Yay!
Arlo, it was great having you on here, but it is your time to head into the pit of despair. Any last words?
This was amazing. Thank you for having me, Patrick. And can we see the bowl? That's the
bowl.
Infamous bowl.
All worship the bowl. The bowl is good. The bowl is great. Nothing Disney. It is literally just look at that. That is, you can buy this at any cooking store. It's just a big ramekin. It has nothing. It's just, well, God. This is what brought Bob Chapek down. They saw our stories. They were like, the bowl, that's it. Everyone out.
The bowl that broke the camel's back.
Yeah,
they're giving away the dishes now because that God forbid we give them back their money.
Well, they
Check
did
and
that,
bag.
and they gave me some free Lightning Lane and free Genie Plus for the day, but I had to raise a stink for that. All right, Courtney, that means you are our winner. You get 60. I think he's pretty sure it's 60 seconds. I don't remember. That's not written in the script anywhere. You would think that I maybe would have written that down somewhere. Oh, it's up top. Hang on. It says 30. Let's go with 60 because we still have some time to fill here. You get 60 seconds of a meet and greet to talk about whatever Disney topic you would like. Are you ready?
Oh my God. No. Yes.
All right. Your time starts now.
Man. I guess something important to me is the resorts. I feel like it has become such an obstacle and an extra hit to your wallet to stay on property. I really hope that with Bob Iger in, he can examine kind of the slow erosion of Disney resorts and the benefits to staying there. It's my husband and I's fifth year anniversary in March. And we want to stay at Port Orleans French Quarter, which has always been our home resort. But the past probably half a dozen trips we've taken to Disney, we've stayed off property because it's just hasn't been worth it. So I hate that it's daunting to look at staying at the place that made us the most happy when we were at our favorite place. I really hope that they can. I mean, I don't expect them to walk back maybe the parking fees or the resort fees or anything like that, but maybe bring back extra magic hours. I miss evening extra magic hours so much. Yeah.
We talked about that this morning too.
There we go.
Well, it just keeps going. The playlist starts over immediately. That brings to a close our show. I would like to thank our panel. I would like to thank Jake for running the tech on this, and hopefully he's sleeping a little bit, and I was able to keep him off work for about 25 minutes. And that means, Courtney, you get to give us that final hub. You do it now. You don't remember?
The hub.
There you go. I got music to play us out too. Here we go. End of show music.
Let's have a drink on it now.
And that's how you do it.
I forgot about that.
I did too, and I just thought of it at the end there. Oh man! Thank you all so much for being a part of the show. Thank you to who was the wig? Was it William that offered to fill in? I did not actually need you because we only had the 3 spots, so I appreciate you trying to help me out there. But I came on and I was like, "Oh, I need one more spot." He's like, "We only have 4," so I just stuck with it. For everyone who enjoys this, this literally had evolved into Park Center. Park Center was started around our March Madness tournament to kind of provide a counterpoint to the panel, mostly to Tom, occasionally to Josh from Easy WDW. We miss him a lot. But it evolved from around the hub, and obviously they're both takes on ESPN products, ESPN owned by Disney. Doing this show is so much fun for me. I wish I had the time, effort, and energy to bring it to everyone on a weekly basis because it is fun. But make sure you go to WDWNT.tv. That is our entertainment station. You can catch me on Deep in the Plus. You can catch us doing Park Center. Park Center is Sundays at 9. Deep in the Plus is Wednesday at 9. We also have Boxed In on Fridays. I think everything starts at 9. And then, of course, our flagship show, that being WDWNT News Tonight. And that is Thursday. You can also go to the studio and see that. All right, people. The floor is open for whatever you want. If you can discuss something, shoot questions our way. We got a little bit of time to kill before the next show. Once again, donations, toys.wdwnt.com. I can't do any stupid human tricks because I am driving after this. Let me run down the schedule real quick. We have up next Tom's honest review of Believe, Sea of Dreams. Follow that up with Cosmic Read Live. Cooking with Nicholas Cicero at 4, a different perspective with Jason Diffendahl. Isn't Jason on like Castaway K right now? Are we
Is
getting
he?
a show from a cruise
he
ship?
got back today.
Oh,
Earlier
okay.
today.
I was like, are we just gonna be on a cruise ship? I don't trust that Wi-Fi.
It would be
Back to
great.
the Future is Mullet over starring Haymaker in Florida Man. I don't know what that is. Maybe I missed something on News Tonight. If somebody in the chat would like to tell me.
Yeah, if somebody knows.
It's Eric Morton. It's Eric Morton's Florida Man.
Got it. They're gonna do that for an hour.
Florida Man would have also made a great escape room theme.
Yeah.
Back to the Future tonight. I actually just saw. I think it's
They
official that
updated it.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
not Spaceship Earth. It is going to be the American Adventure. So Back to the Future, 8:00, the American Adventure. If you've never been here for our Back to the Future show, I 100% believe this is the best thing that we do.
It's easy to see, hard to foresee that this Back to the Future will be on the American Adventure.
Very, very nicely done. The Ghost Pepper vodka last night was absolutely terrible. It was awful, and it's really good vodka, but
I can imagine why that's a thing.
It's good in a Bloody Mary. So I had it in a Bloody Mary, and it was fantastic. But my cousin got married.
I get heartburn just hearing it.
It was
Right?
instant heartburn. Instant heartburn.
Ugh.
No, it did not give me nightmares. I just went to sleep like immediately after the show. I drank 3 beers and a nip of vodka in like an hour and a half. I was done last night. So yeah, we'll do the American Adventure. Then deepen the. Oh, hey, I'm back. I'm back at 11. I'll be on again tonight at 11 until 1. I'll be doing Deep in the Plus with Rob. We will rank every single Pixar film there is, and I'm sure people are not going to be happy with mine.
Ooh.
Did I freeze? Oh no, okay, I didn't. I
Controversy is always a good thing for the show, though. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good dinosaur, number 1.
The other way. There you go. There's
Cars
a teaser for down there too. No, my number 1 is not anything controversial. When we get into like my top, some of my tops,
Like
people are gonna
5.
yeah, people get upset. Sunday we got Tokyo watch-alongs with Spencer. I think Spencer and Tom are doing that at 3 a.m. with Ron. Trip planning and history questions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Ron
nice.
and I are doing that, and then we're doing our parade watch along this year is actually the opening special for Epcot. If anybody wants to join us for that tomorrow morning, I think that's at 8.
Is that the one with Danny Kaye?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. 8 a.m. parade watch along. 10 a.m. we're gonna head over to the Cat Cafe with Miss Allison. 11 a.m. Nerd Alert. I do believe they'll be live in the studio. 1 p.m. Animal Kingdom live stream. Oh, that's awesome. 3 p.m. we're gonna have a discussion about Halloween Horror Nights. I know Alicia is very excited to talk about that.
Yes.
5 p.m. Boxed In. I don't know what they're unboxing. Maybe cruise merch? Maybe. 7 o'clock is our line of auction, and then we'll sign off at 11 p.m. hopefully with $38,000 in the bank. We are a ways away from that right now. We are at just under $5,000. Oh, no, just over $5,000, excuse me. Again, you can donate toys.wdwnt.com. You can check out our auctions, auction.wdwnt.com. Let me just run down what we have for auction at the moment. I'll tell you the prices already. See, stuff will be being added throughout the day. More things are going. All right, so number 1 is an Orlando Cat Cafe package. You have a Jean-Luc plush, a logo mug. That is from the Orlando Cat Cafe. Oh, and 2 complimentary passes for an hour at the Cat Cafe play area. Oh, that's very cute.
Oh.
Food Rocks versus Kitchen Cabaret Battle of the Band poster. This was only at D23,
Ooh.
presently at $70. D23 exclusive pin set that is at $45 right now. A second 50th anniversary Most Magical Kingdom pin set at $55. That one has Mickey, Pain and Panic for some reason. It's a weird addition to
Sure.
that. Yeah. Another Food Rocks versus Kitchen Cabaret Battle of the Bands poster. Again, $70. This was sold only at D23. A D23 Epcot Center poster. It was a limited edition of 100. You get local pickup, so we don't have to. A couple of these are available with local pickup. Current bid on that is $270. Another poster currently at $95. This is what I was really interested in. The exclusive cast member pin. Is it a pin? This paint can thing. 100 Years of Magic cast exclusive paint can pin set. That looks amazing. Leading bid right now is $100. I might get in on that a little bit later. The Minnie Mouse, the main attraction, complete Haunted Mansion collection. You get a plush, a mug, ears, pins, and that even has the belt bag. So very nice. A lot of good stuff there.
Ooh.
Obviously, a lot of fans of Mansion. That one is presently at $130. It's really weird. The Minnie main attraction sold way better than the Mickey one, or they produced more Mickey ones. I don't know which it was.
I think it's a little bit of both. As somebody who, and 2 of them are actually back there, and I
see
have
them.
2 of the bags.
Yep.
As somebody who tried to collect the entire set each month, or not the entire set, but the minis and the pins, but the hell that it was every month to
I
try
know.
to get the items that you wanted. I think so many people were so burned and 1,000% done. Because I know I was one of them. I swore off collecting anything that dropped on Shop Disney after that year. But the anxiety of every month trying to do that was just insane. I think a lot of people got burned, so they weren't interested. I think the quality went down. The lounge flies are still, I think, the same quality because they're lounge fly, but the plushes don't look as well made. The pins are just like a giant Mickey pin, and they don't seem quite as well made. There's something off about them. I can't quite put my finger on. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they did magic bands this go round, which I think would have been the thing if they'd have done like magic, the new magic bands. I think those might have sold and would have been different and perfect. That and the release schedule has been so
Random.
it was variable each month, but it was guaranteed to come out that month. There have been months where nothing has come out. I think even Disney has lost interest in producing it.
I saw some of the stuff while I was there, and I think part of it was I got 2 of the mini pin sets over there. I have Jungle Cruise and Tiki Room, 2 of my favorite attractions, and we have a Tiki Room mug that my wife actually uses. I don't know why she would do that.
Monster.
Just a monster. I know, it's terrible. All right, let's get back to the auctions. We have a Disney California Adventure Happy Holidays bucket. It's from the 2021 edition. That's currently at $80. 2 Illuminations Reflections of Earth final showing pin and poster. It was given to the attendees of our panel at Reflections of Earth. One is for the poster, one is for the panel. They're in the same picture. They are both $160 at present time. So 1 poster, 1 pin. They're exclusive from the panel. Spend a day at Walt Disney World with the Diffindalls. Jason and Jill will take you and up to 4 guests on a tour of Walt Disney World. Leading bid, $800. Nick's Maxi Van Experience will have personal transportation for yourself and a few of your friends and family. Either a trip between Orlando International Airport or an Orlando area destination in either direction, or between 2 Orlando destinations. This item cannot be shipped. Nick will only do this in Orlando, Florida. $220 is the bid at present time. A VIP experience of WDWNT news or WDW news tonight. I never noticed that there's not an NT there. I guess that's the news tonight. See news tonight like never before with a VIP experience, including reserved front row, a personal meet and greet with the team behind the show, dinner with the staff, probably just DoorDash at the studio, backstage access to attend show rehearsal prior to the show, an invitation to come on stage and be part of an on-air segment. Again, this is local redemption only. You need to come down to Celebration for that one. That is presently at $720. Next bid is $740. And then spend the day with Tom Corliss at Walt Disney World. You and your family, up to a total of 5 people, can spend the entire day with Tom. It is presently at $1,800. You'll be enjoying the Walt Disney World Resort, sharing stories, fun facts, and more. You can even buy him lunch if you wish. Oh, that is a shout out to jokes back in the day. We had another donation. Thank you so much, Marie. Oh boy, Hutner. $50 donation. Yeah. Thank you very much, Marie. We really appreciate that. There is a ton more items coming at auction. They're just coming right now. I was just looking at my magic bands. My buddy 3D printed this. It's amazing.
That is cool.
Yeah. A little Mickey there. I was like, hey, what color will pop the most? And we decided to go with red apple and green apple. So it's
Christmassy unintentionally.
Yep.
It is Christmassy.
The old magic bands. So this is
that's first generation.
Yeah. Yep. That's 2017. Unfortunately, the box got ruined in a flood in my basement, but the magic band was spared, thankfully. But yeah, that is first generation. That's not even the second generation that were a little more comfortable. That was the first generation that were stiff and just stuck on your arms. They're not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so Arlo, what's it like being part of the team now?
Yeah.
Very, very exciting.
Good.
I'm in the parks tomorrow. And I'm driving home as soon as this is over, because I'm currently home in San Francisco right now and not in my Southern California dorm. But I'm incredibly excited. It's sort of a dream come true. So very, very exciting. And now I've just gotta just start doing the stuff that I'm assigned to do.
You're gonna have to eat a lot. I know that is going to be part of your job, is eating a lot. We were talking. I'm like, I always wanted to do one festival, just go and be part of the team for one festival opening day and eat everything and give my perspective on all that. The festival coverage butted right up against the marathon this year and Thanksgiving, and it was incredible what everybody was able to get done. Shout out to our fantastic.
Kudos to everybody, Alicia, Matthew, everybody that works on that, the reporters, that everybody, because it is a true endeavor and a labor of love for them to get it out.
Yeah, and there's some bad things they have to eat, like really
like
bad
the Italy
things.
booth.
Like
I was going to say,
exactly.
Can we circle back to that? Because again, I was just looking at the menu like right before Hub started. Salmon tartare. Why is that a thing? That was the move. That was what we chose to go with. Of all things, again, you couldn't do a cannoli, but that's what you picked.
Yeah, we're constantly the lowest rated booth. What should we have? Raw fish? That sounds like a good idea.
That you most associate with Italy? Is it salmon? Well, let's get a nice Pacific Northwest salmon.
It makes no sense.
It reminds me of
I think they should just pedal. Oh, go ahead, Arlo.
I was just gonna say it reminds me of the like lobster mousse that was at. What was that last festival? Was that lobster mousse that Tom was just like, "Oh, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten."
Was that
And he's
Food and Wine?
It might have been Food and Wine. It was one of the video reviews.
Gross.
It was either Food and Wine or Flower and Garden.
Flower and Garden has the single best bite of food I've ever had in my life. And oddly enough, going off of last night, it was actually ghost pepper.
Oh, really?
One of the first Flower and Gardens, when they had the food booths, there was this piece of tilapia with like a ghost pepper relish, and the fish was perfectly cooked and seasoned, and it was just one of the most delicious single bites I've ever had in my life. Realize I've been low the whole time. Yeah.
I know that they have Flower and Garden also has one of my favorite drinks I've ever had. And that it was like a lavender lemonade. It was delicious.
Yeah.
The most delicious thing I've ever. Oh,
God,
sorry.
You're good. It's all right.
I was just gonna say the most delicious thing I've had at a festival was definitely they had garlic noodles at the DCA Lunar New Year Festival that were.
That sounds good.
God, they were so. It was, and despite the fact I live in San Francisco and there's a lot of places that sell garlic noodles, I have not had any that are as good as the ones I had in DCA almost a year ago, and so I'm very excited for that to come back.
Yeah, you guys get random festivals like Lunar New Year's. That's so cool. That's such a cool thing. And we should be doing more of that. But yeah, the worst
Mulan parade.
The worst thing is I was talking to Charlie about the like Wakanda booth, and the tea, the tea lemonade looked so good, but he said it was just kind of boring. But
that's disappointing.
One of those that looks pretty, but
yeah, it's Instagrammable, but you're not really eating it all that much. That's what I talked about on that episode of Park Center, is that how amazing would a festival of fictitious countries be? Arendelle, Wakanda, where's Disenchanted and Andalasia? Is that what the name of that is? Andalasia?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something
so
like
that would. There's so many different lands. I mean, Zootopia would be a really great vegetarian booth.
Yeah, it would. It would. The Santa Claus. I don't know if anybody's watching the new series, but I want that hot chocolate.
God.
Yes.
I haven't watched the series. Is it good?
I haven't watched the series yet either.
Yeah.
I was waiting until like
the movie.
Whole Christmas.
I do like the movie. I actually like even the terrible sequels. They're
I do too.
Yeah, we watch them every year.
Yeah. My Disney go-to though for holiday is Prep and Landing. Prep and Landing is my favorite special. I reach for that before almost anything else. I love it so much. I'm so sad I never made it for Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam.
Le Jingle Bell, Le Jingle Bam.
I'll never. Was that deep in the plus where it got stuck in the loop when you guys were talking
about
Prep and Landing?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
elves drag children to their bed.
That's what they do. Oh man, that is what last year's. Yeah, I was in this house.
Oh god,
was that? I thought that was 2 years ago. I thought that was the cast member one.
It might have been 2 years ago. I was in this house 2 years ago.
Trust Arlo. He's the archivist of WDWNT.
That used to be. Jason used to know. I don't know what just flew in front of me. Jason used to know like everything where it was. I still, if you're a WIG and you have access to the podcast parades, please go listen.
Go listen to them. They're fantastic.
It's an absolute labor of love. I was looking at my my Google Docs when I was trying to find a script for Around the Hub, and I saw this thing. And it said unreleased podcast parade commercial. I don't know if I ever told anyone about it, but at 11 o'clock tonight, if by the end of our show we get enough donations, I will read for you the unreleased Christmas podcast parade commercial. And then let's see what else I have in here. Mouse Tank commercial did happen. Merchandise did happen.
Oh my god.
WDWNT The Clue did happen.
Yeah.
These are some callbacks. These are some deep cuts.
Listening to Scott just riff when we were recording the podcast parades was one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Him and Tom just going back and forth with, again, if you haven't ever listened to them, please go listen to them. They're absolutely hysterical. And probably explains a lot of the humor that you see now, especially on News Tonight. How it got to where it is now.
I'm shocked more of these actually did make it. That is the only one I think I have that never made it out. Looking.
Where's the Reagan cutout these days?
That's a great question.
I think he's still in the studio.
In the studio somewhere. I feel like I saw him last year. I don't know where exactly.
Tom brought him out for the 15th event.
He should be like the black cat at Osborne Lights.
Oh my god, yes.
Try to find him.
Try to find Reagan. Oh.
No, we took a photo with him at the 15th event.
Prep and Landing will be on Disney Channel tomorrow night. If you don't have Disney Plus, that's awesome. So many fictional places: Toontown, Mousetown, San Francisco. I think isn't DCA basically doing San Francisco?
They're killing our free bread. Yep, they're putting up San Francisco.
My favorite part about that bakery is the theme song. What bakery has a theme song?
Every bakery should.
It should.
Every bakery should, yes.
Jake said he hides backstage. Jake, I'm going to imagine since you chatted, you're in my ear, and you'll let me know when it's time to go. It's weird. Jake is like the voice of God. None of you can hear it, and only I can. And then he tells me to burn things. I don't know.
Wait, are you saying only you can hear the real voice of God, Patrick?
What? No. He's doing it again. Just like burn it all down. I don't know why he keeps saying that. I really like to thank my panel for being here. You all for tuning in. Those of you who donated during the time. I'll be back at 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. We're going to be talking about the Pixar films. Rob and I are going to rank Pixar films in order, all of them. And I'll name a donation amount during the show. And if we get there, I will read an unreleased WDWNT commercial from the podcast parade from 2014. That is how long ago it is from.
Does that predate me? I don't remember. God, I've been here so long.
Were you on the second set of So You Want to Be a Podcaster?
Maybe.
Because it was Marcy and Dave came from that. And then I started shortly after them. So I have been here.
Yeah, it was 14 because it was the same year I moved into my house.
That would have been 11.
Thanks, Arlo.
Oh, God, Arlo. Thank you.
Arlo lost some points again.
Remember how we said earlier we were babies when we started? Now we're having babies.
Yeah.
Thank you for just...
Yeah, thanks. I have to now keep my toys away from my daughter. Did you guys see her eyeball when she came down here? She's like,
do you see this office now? I could like spin my camera, but remember all the bookshelves of things that I had?
Yeah.
They are all gone because this has now been converted into a playroom because she would not stay away from my toys.
We're going to turn it over to Tom's honest review of Believe, Sea of Dreams. Stay tuned for the marathon, toys.wdwnt.com, auction.wdwnt.com. Thank you all so much. Thank you to the panel, and we'll all see you real soon.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.